Today on 21st Century Business, explore state-of-the-art technology, innovative business strategies, insights from cutting-edge corporations around the globe, a visionary look into the answers of tomorrow, today. Business leaders, business solutions, 21st Century Business.
Welcome to 21st Century Business. I'm Jackie Bales. As a business enters the global economy, they discover a universe of opportunity. However, one of the most immediate challenges they face is the language barrier. While a business may employ a multilingual staff, quite often they learn the hard way that just because someone speaks another language, it doesn't make them a qualified translator of that language. Translating industry-specific technical language demands a certain qualified set of skills that's usually beyond a multilingual employee. Yuniverse Technical Translation tackles this problem head-on, and joining me today from the company is President Marian Rifkind. Welcome, Marian.
Thank you very much for inviting me today.
Marian, can you tell me more about the problems a company or government entity face when translating key material?
Yes, of course. The main problem is that both of those organizations want a good quality translation. They want it done in a timely fashion, and they want to get the best price that's out there. We are constantly dealing with deadlines, whether it be that they submit their proposal in the foreign language in time for the tender submission, whether they're translating a presentation that they're going to give that afternoon, or whether they're going on a foreign trip and they're leaving on the plane and they need those documents in the foreign language that they took days and weeks to prepare in English, but they need fast turnaround in the foreign language.
Right. Well, it's not hard to imagine either that a small error in translation could have a significant negative impact. Tell us how your company fits into this picture and the solutions that you bring, Marian.
Well, that can happen. We're all human, and this can happen and could have disastrous consequences. For example, let me just share with you. There's a technical piece of equipment that's used, and there's a technical manual that needs to be translated. And in that technical manual, it says, turn the switch to the right. But unfortunately, the translator writes, turn the switch to the left. Well, if that were to happen, it could mean that the whole place could blow up, and we can't imagine the consequences of that, and we would certainly be out of business in 5 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
So we try to avoid such problems by not only using a technical translator with the right kind of background, but we check every single piece of work that we do to make sure that there aren't errors, because people are unfortunately human. But I'd like to share another story with you on this. A number of years ago, one of our clients had a contract that they wanted to translate into the Azerbaijani language, which is the language of Azerbaijan. And they gave it to somebody locally to translate, got it back, and started the contract. There was a sentence in there that said, engineers should not be paid more than $500 a day. Then they started to receive invoices, and the invoices were for $500, $600, $700, $800, $900. So they were wondering, what's going on here? The contract said not more than $500. So they thought, well, maybe we should have the translation checked. They sent us the translation to look at. And in the Azerbaijani language, to make a verb negative, you have to stick the letter M in the middle of the word. And the translator had forgotten to do that. And that's probably because it wasn't checked by a second person. So this was the whole problem. We have a whole file on the letter M, and it has nothing to do with my name, Marian.
Oh, that's funny.
And the good side of the story is this company has been our client ever since.
Wow. That's incredible. Well, in this 21st Century Business Field Report, we'll get a fascinating glimpse of Yuniverse Technical Translation in action.
Language translation services are crucial in the business world, as more and more businesses are realizing the immense opportunity foreign markets hold. Selecting the right translation service like Yuniverse Technical Translation allows your company to enter a foreign market with confidence in their products and services.
Yuniverse is very capable and does excellent work. When I work with them, I know the job's going to be done right. and it's going to be done on time. And almost more important to me is I don't have to spend my time managing them. They're people who understand our industry, and almost more important, they understand our jargon. So translations are done right, and they're done quickly. They've also worked with our graphic designers to make sure that those translations are rolled correctly into HTML for digital newsletters and into video for accurate subtitles.
Yuniverse offers technical translation services in a wide range of different industries, including oil and gas, mining, energy, and petrochemical.
English is the language of the oil and gas industry, but that doesn't mean that everyone speaks English. And even those who do speak it fluently, it's a courtesy if we provide things in their own language. Yuniverse has helped us with both internal and external communications. For our internal communications, they've translated things like our company policies and our core values. Those let employees around the world know who Wood Group is and what we stand for and what we expect from them. On the external communication side, they've helped our marketing efforts. They've translated things like our trade show graphics into the language of the countries that we're exhibiting in. They've translated our customer newsletter into 8 different languages. And they translate press releases into the language of the customer who we're asking to approve them. So hopefully that helps them to approve them more easily and hopefully a little bit faster.
This office is our head office, and here in this office we have lots of different people doing lots of different jobs. We have editors because we work in 60 languages, and every single document that is translated into the foreign languages is edited by a second person. So a number of the editors are here. If they're not here, then it's done by some of our off-site editors. We have project coordinators and project managers. We also have a desktop publishing formatting department here. We have accounting here, we have marketing here, we have sales, and we have management. In addition to this office, we have 3 other offices. We have an office in London, and the London office takes care of some work out of Europe and clients in the UK. We also have an office in Moscow, Russia, and then we have an office in Baku, Azerbaijan. And the reason we have that office is we won a part of the AIOC contract back in the 80s, which was known as the contract of the century for Azerbaijan. And they asked us to set up an office there. And from that office, we translate English to Azeri, which is the Azerbaijani language, and English to Russian. And in addition to that, we also provided on-site personnel at the BP office to translate from English to Azeri and English to Russian.
I strongly recommend Yuniverse because they're so capable. I've recommended them to my counterpart for the Eastern Hemisphere, and they have started using Yuniverse's office. Yuniverse has an office in London. It's very close and very convenient for our folks in the UK, and I've recommended them to other people here in Houston who have translation needs.
Marion, why is this an important service to provide?
Well, companies and government entities need to communicate with their counterparts in other countries where they speak other languages. I know that many Americans think the whole world should speak English, but that's not the case. So in order to better communicate with their partners, they need to do that in the foreign language. And this is a service that we are providing. Once a company has a contract, they need to send correspondence, they need to provide agreements, technical manuals, brochures, they need to speak to them in the foreign language, and this is the kind of service that we are providing.
And into which languages do you provide this translation service?
Well, we provide it into about 60 different languages, but we also provide it out of 60 different languages. So we translate from English into German, but we also translate from German into English. I have one of my brochures here, and we have in here written many of the languages we translate into and from, but we have a little graphic at the top which says 10 most wanted languages, because even though it's 60 languages, we are not doing 60 languages every day, every week, every month.
Right.
But we have probably about a top 10 that are favorites. And interestingly enough, number 1 is Russian in Houston, Texas.
Wow.
That's another question.
But with their growing economy, that kind of doesn't surprise me.
Then we have Spanish, French, Chinese, Portuguese, German, Japanese, Arabic, Italian, and Ukrainian.
Wow.
That probably is our top 10.
Wow.
Last year was an interesting year because despite being in business for more than 31 years, all of a sudden a lot of new languages were appearing that we hadn't been asked for before, like Serbian, Croatian, Moldavian, Kurdish, Romanian, a lot of Eastern European languages, I suppose, when it comes down to it. But I also got inquiries about Afrikaans, about Faroese, and I don't know where we're going to go this year.
Lots. So it depends on what's going on in the world at large.
Absolutely, yes.
Can you explain the qualifications of an ideal translator for us, Marian?
Yes. A translator needs to know 2 languages. Whether they know 3, 4, 5 or more